Howdy and welcome to episode 19 of the 240SX2JZ swap. We're about ready to get this intercooler piping all figured out, so let's get ready to go.
So this intercooler kit is from CX Racing, and there I am just mocking the intercooler up to the car. This is a bar that came with the intercooler kit that I had to modify the corners of a little bit to get it to fit on the car there. Just tightening down some brackets in this shot here. Here are the lower brackets going in. Oh, look at this guy installing the intercooler all by himself, balancing it on his knees. A true mechanic, I have to say. Screwing in those bottom mounts there. Getting those top mounts all secured. Oh, look at that jawline. Wow. What a guy. And here it is, finally all secured. There's just enough clearance between the intercooler and the oil cooler back there, as you can see, and I think it looks pretty darn good.
So the intercooler is all mounted up and good to go. The brackets from CX Racing, a little flimsy, I have to say, but they do the job. It seems like it's going to hold up kind of well. What isn't going to hold up and what is not good is the piping, the intercooler piping I got from CX Racing in the S13 to 2JZ single turbo kit. So we got some pretty nice pieces, but what is odd is that most of the piping that I got is 3-inch. So the intercooler is a 3-inch in, 3-inch out. The outlet from the turbo is 3-inch, but they gave me one piece of 2.5-inch intercooler piping that goes from the turbo down to a connecting piece and into the intercooler, which is not great in terms of airflow. So you're basically pushing air out of the turbo and then immediately restricting it by 1/2 inch, and then you're going to open that back up after it comes out of this tube to 3 inches again. So it's really not great in terms of efficiency, and their intercoolers aren't known to be efficient as it is. So that really isn't good news for us. And to be quite honest, I have been mocking up the intercooler piping, and it doesn't really look like it is going to fit. So that is also a problem. So to remedy these problems, I'm just sending off the car as a whole to a fab shop, and they're going to do the intercooler piping for me. The car is obviously not driving at this point, so I'm going to tow it to the fab shop, which is like an hour away, so that'll be a good ride. We'll see how that goes. But until then, the only thing that needs to happen before we tow this thing off to get work done on it is to drill holes for the intercooler piping to come up through and into the engine bay. I'll show you where. So here is our turbo, and the first tube is going to come off of this, make a 90, and go down through this, where the old battery tray used to go. So this is just some thin sheet metal. So we're going to drill a nice big hole through this, and that is where the first pipe is going to go through into the engine bay and out of the engine bay. So this is the other area where another hole will need to be drilled. There is one right here, but it is not big enough to fit the 3-inch intercooler piping. So we're going to drill another hole about right here. We're going to Dremel it, make sure it's all smooth, paint it to prevent rust after everything's all drilled. And then finally, we are going to put some very nice edging around the holes so that the intercooler piping doesn't get beat up when we install everything. So that is the plan. So I'm going to go ahead and just start drilling some holes. It doesn't really matter the placement too much because the fab shop is hopefully just going to be able to work with wherever I drill the holes, or so I hope. So I'm just going to kind of ballpark where everything should go and just start hacking this thing up. Maybe not the best thing to do, but I think we should be okay. So I'm going to get going with that. Ow, 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 ouch, that hurt. Oh, heavens, it worked. But look, I can stick my hand through it. Let's do the other side. Now that I know I'm a professional. Oh yes, that is one nice piece of pie.
And here I am heating up that edging that I was talking about earlier with a heat gun just to make it easier to work with. And here I go installing it, just taking my time, making sure that it goes in nice and uniformly around the holes we cut out. And the final product, I could not be more happy with. It looks excellent, almost OEM, I have to say, and really, really pleased with it. So I picked up a tow dolly from U-Haul, and that's what we're gonna be taking this thing to the fab shop with, because it does not run. Roll. Yes! Yes! What a beauty! How do I do, boss? And here I am hitting the road to get this thing to the fab shop. Alright guys, we're back from the fab shop with our new intercooler piping. I polished this stuff up and it looks really good. And I'm really excited to get it on the car, so I'm about to do that. And the fab shop also helped me out with my exhaust because it was hitting in a lot of places under the car. So that has all been fixed, and they actually tucked it up under the car. Really nice and neat. It looks fantastic. So really big shout out to JPC Fabrication in Pennsylvania here. They did an awesome job. But let's get this stuff on the car and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so the fab shop also made this intake pipe for me, which looks great. I'm going to mock it up right now and just make sure everything fits, but not actually install it because I have this boost leak tool that I'm going to be popping on the turbo instead so that we can check the whole system for leaks. But everything is looking good so far, so let's just see if our intake pipe fits. It looks good, but I want to make sure that the hood clears this very nice looking air filter. So I'm going to dab some blue Loctite on the highest point here, which is up near the top. Looks gorgeous. And what I'm going to do is close the hood and see if any of this blue Loctite gets on the hood, because if it does, then we know the hood is hitting. So let's close the hood here. Anything so far? Oh, it's already hitting up here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you definitely can't. But there's some blue Loctite on the hood already. So let's see if the hood even closes like this. It does, but it's pushing the hood up, which is a problem. So that's no bueno. So we'll open this bad boy up. And we'll see. Look at this. Look at that right there. It's touching. It's touching this bad boy. So I could just get a new air filter, but I'm already in financial ruin in this project, so I'm not going to spend any more money than I have to. So what I'm going to do is I put my intake pipe down. Is I've actually marked out a bunch of places on the hood here, right here where I need to Dremel out. You've got a place back here. Over here where stuff is hitting. So this clamp is touching the hood just very barely. So I'm gonna, Dremel that out. The T-top that goes on the, the spark plug cover, that is hitting this, and it's actually scratching up the spark plug cover a little bit. So we gotta Dremel that out. And then over here, as you saw, the air filter is hitting right there. So there are some areas that need to be touched up on the hood. As you can see, the turbo sticks up so high. I've already cut an area of the support out of the hood. But anyway, so just a little modification to make sure everything fits. Remember, when the engine is running, it torques to one side and it doesn't stay perfectly
static as it is right now. So it needs to move, and therefore you need a little clearance on the hood to make sure everything is good to go. All right, so I'm gonna call it for this episode. The intercooler piping is in and it looks fantastic. Again, huge shout out to JPC Fabrication for all their hard work and making this thing look really, really good. And next video, we should be starting this thing. So really, really excited. Hope you guys will stick around to see that happen. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.